Hey, it's Willey. Victoria home prices are once again on the rise. I'm seeing a lot more multiple offers out there. Case in point, just look at all these shoes at the front door of this house I showed last week. I haven't seen that much action on one property in well over a year now. So is this a dead cat bounce, maybe a seasonal blip, or did we reach the bottom of the market somewhere between November of last year and January of this year? Either way, it does seem that buyer confidence is slowly returning, but it's just too early to say this will set the tone for the rest of the year since inventory is just so extremely low right now. The next few months will be the real test. Interest rates are continuing to go up, but at a much slower pace now, and buyers now have some confidence that they may not go up too much higher, perhaps even stabilize, and some optimists think they may even come down. Affordability, however, in Victoria remains at an all-time low. A new report today says to qualify on a mortgage for a benchmark single-family detached home, you now need $216,000 of annual income, and 7 out of every $10 earned in Victoria now goes towards mortgage payments. We're also the 7th most expensive city in Canada to rent in, with a 2-bedroom condo surpassing $2,700 a month on average. It begs the question, will housing in Victoria ever be affordable again? Before we look at this month's market stats, I want to quickly touch on a few points regarding housing affordability, since it's one of the biggest issues facing Victoria, and it's certainly one of the most talked about ones. First, we need to define what affordable housing even means. Victoria has an average household income of under $90,000, far short of the $216,000 needed to buy a detached home now. This is my personal view, but I think it's a fair argument that affordable should mean the average household income of a city can support housing for a home large enough to start a family in, and that's at least what I define as affordable housing. It's still possible, barely, to buy a 2-bedroom condo within Victoria's average income, but as soon as you get into 3 bedrooms or more, the options start to disappear. House prices would have to drop at least 25 to 30% to make things affordable by this metric, and I certainly don't think that's going to happen. As soon as Victoria sees any major correction or drop, we have buyers from the rest of Canada ready to jump in, which keeps prices propped up here. So the second option that could happen to make homes more affordable is to build more homes. We've recently had the Missing Middle Initiative passed, which allows this in Victoria, but I think the high cost of building means any townhomes or multi-unit developments that are 3 bedrooms or more will probably be starting at least $1 million. So again, not really very affordable. We can't build fast enough or cheap enough to solve this. In fact, the last few years have seen record numbers of new housing starts already. In 2021, for example, there were over 4,800 new homes added to the CRD, and that's the most since 1976. So even if we were able to build at this pace and build 5,000 new homes a year, it just couldn't keep up with our population growth. And finally, option 3 is policy change. On the table, I've seen everything from banning Airbnbs, taxing investment properties, more aggressive rezoning, and requiring developers to allocate a set amount of new builds to affordable housing where they can only be purchased by buyers with a certain income level. There's no magic bullet solution here, and again, most of these are drops in the bucket compared to the macroeconomic forces that are pushing Victoria prices upwards. But I'm definitely a big proponent of requiring developers to allocate a certain amount of units to be affordable housing. I've seen some good examples of this down at the Dockside Green and the Haven development, where you have to qualify for a certain income level before you can purchase there, and then you can't sell or rent these units for a certain amount of years after you purchase them. And I love working with first-time buyers on these properties, knowing that they're able to get in at below market value and knowing they aren't competing with investors for these properties. I think it's one part of a good solution here. The bottom line is I think Victoria will always be expensive and unfortunately probably never affordable by any definition again. There may be some breathing room created by a combination of price drops, building more, and policy change. So I don't think these efforts are in vain, but likely we'll have to see a shift in perspective in what future generations define as an affordable home. The days of single-family detached homes with a yard as a starter home are gone. We'll move towards condos as the new starter home. In fact, I think we already have for quite a few years now. And I think the solution will be to have to accept this reality, of condos, townhomes, and more density. But we can build this density smarter, more thoughtfully, and responsibly, meaning big enough spaces for people to comfortably live and raise families in. I would love to hear from you on this, so please share your thoughts in the comments below on affordable housing and what your solutions might be, and if Victoria will ever be considered affordable again. Now let's dig into the monthly market stats. You can see an increase month over month across the board for median prices. Townhomes are up 20%, which is always an interesting segment to watch. This represents only 45 sales in February, so the townhome numbers often swing in big ways depending on the prices of those units in the sample. Looking at year over year, we're still a long ways off from this time last year, but the gap is closing. And looking at the market meter, we have now moved more towards the seller's market. The big takeaway here is that there were only 460 sales in total compared to 667 this month last year. So I'm not drawing any conclusions on this market until we see more inventory and more sales, which we should see over the next few months. Thank you for watching. As usual, I want to hear from you, so please share your thoughts and comments and suggestions below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.